Since I have heard about guitar amps and bass amps, the cabinets of the speakers that is inside, and also when I'm in the DAW or digital audio workstation and I look for guitar amp plugins, and when I load a guitar amp plugin in the effects area in the DAW, you get all these functions about the guitar amp and the cabinet, but I see like the dimensions or the configurations that says like 2 by 12 or 2 by 10, 1 by 10, 4 by 10, 8 by 10. What kind of numbers are these? Like the 8 and a 10, and it has an X between those two numbers. So this video we're going to talk about the size, the configurations of the guitar or the bass amp cabinets. What is up everyone? If you're new to our channel, Chris Garcia here, and if you're subscribed to our channel, welcome back. So if you're new to our channel, hello everyone, I'm Chris Garcia. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you have not been already. I recommend, please, if you subscribe to my channel, that will make my day. And the optional thing of after you subscribe to my channel, you can click that bell or click that post notification so that every time when I upload the content, you get notified from me on your device. So I'm going to talk about the amplifier cabinets. So you know the cabinet is the speaker of the amp. I really like to have an amp that is separate, and I really wanted to have the guitar amp or the bass amp head and the cabinet separately and not glued together, so that I can customize into a different cabinet of which guitar amp cabinet should I wanted to plug in with the amp head. So this is the guitar amp, which this one is glued, which is all together, and it's all in one in a single box, both the amp and the cabinet or the speaker, which it is all together, but you know you can't change cabinets, but you can replace the driver that is inside of the amplifier. But this one is a 1 by 12, so this one is pretty good. So in our church we use the Fender amps, and this is a 1 by 12, and the amp is all together, both the head and the cabinet or the speaker, just all together it's a 1 by 12. And this one is a 4 by 10 hard key, and I like the hard keys because of how cool the speakers, because these speakers are aluminum, and I really like the hard keys. You know, it is such a cool speaker, such a cool drivers. I like it. And this is a bass amp, by the way, and one day I wish I had one. This is an example of the amp which is separated, both the head and the driver, they're apart, and I really like to have one that is separated, the head and the amp and the cabinet of the amplifier. But you know, I do wanted to change cabinets, like, you know, and also one of the coolest amps that I found, which they are separated as well, which is the orange branded. You know, the orange, it looks really cool. It is orange color around it. I like the orange amplifiers too, you know, which is for guitar amps though. Since I use a room, I could use a 1 by 10 bass amplifier or a 1 by 12 guitar amplifier cabinet, because you know my room is not that big, because if I have a bigger cab and I play the bass, it's gonna shake the entire house, which it is similar to a big subwoofer. So I have my 5-string bass with me right now. This is really nice. You know, it's in a cool, I made an unboxing and a haul about the bass, you know, which how adorable looks. So let me just play a C major scale. So I play the bass at my church, so I currently play this bass at my church, and we use an acoustics, and that is a brand, and we use an acoustics bass amp, and the cabinet that we use is an acoustics 2 by 10 bass cabinet. I might upgrade with an 8 by 10 bass amplifier cabinet, so that way we can hear louder, but it will be better to have like a microphone into the cabinet. You know, you can put a microphone in the cabinet, so that way when you play the bass and it comes to the amplifier through the speakers, and the speaker or the bass speaker is vibrating and comes into the microphone, so that way it can come through the PA system or the PA speakers or loudspeakers, whatever you say. I like when instruments come out of the PA system because it's a lot better in high definition and quality. And of course, we have a guitar in our church, and we use a Fender 1x12 guitar amp. But it's not a separate, it's just all together, both the head and the cabinet all glued together. So what does this mean? You know, the number by a number. You know, the two numbers, and there's an X between a number, you know, which is the word by on the X. So I'm going to show you an example about the dimensions or the size or the speaker configurations of the bass or the guitar amp. But I do want to show you on this monitor, but I prefer showing it on screen so that way you guys can see it. So let's go. Alright guys, so you guys are seeing the two numbers and an X between the two numbers. So I just wanted to pick, for example, the 2x10 guitar or bass amplifier cabinets. So what is it all about? Okay, so first of all, the number 2, you know, the first number before the X or before I said the word by, you can see the number 2, it tells you how many speakers are inside of the cabinet. Because if I get the 4x10, it has 4 speakers inside of the guitar or bass amp cabinet. And of course the X is by, but you don't have to worry about it. And the number 10, as you can see after the X or after I said by, the number 10 is the size of the speaker or the driver. You know, like another word for speaker is a driver. It measures the inch of how big the speakers or the driver is inside of the guitar or the bass amp cabinet. So if I get a 2x10 bass or guitar amp cabinet, that means that this cabinet has 2 drivers or 2 speakers inside of the guitar or the bass amp cabinet. But if I get a 4x12, that means I have 4 12-inch speakers inside of the guitar cabinet or the bass cabinet. But you know the inches varies, because if you want a single speaker inside of a cabinet, you just only need the only one speaker inside of the cabinet. You can get a 1x10 or 1x12 guitar or bass cabinet. Like there's also a bigger size of a speaker or a huge amount of speakers that is inside of the cabinet. So the bigger number on the left, the bigger of how many speakers is gonna fit inside of the cabinet. But the bigger number that is on the right, that means how big the speakers is, or how big the speaker is going to be inside the cabinet. But if I get a 10x17, that is going to be like 10 17-inch speakers inside of a cabinet. That is a giant cabinet. But if I just get a single 17-inch bass speaker, I just only going to have one speaker, one 17-inch speaker inside of the bass cabinet. And one more thing guys, and I wanted you guys to keep it in mind. If you guys see a speaker or a guitar cabinet, you see like 3 speakers and they're not the same size, you know, and there's like a one 17-inch speaker or driver, and there are 2 10-inch speakers inside of the cabinet. You know, you can't name 1x17, you can't name 3x17s, you know, it's not correct. So to solve this, if you see a bass cabinet that has one 17-inch and there is a 2 10-inch drivers inside of the bass cabinet or bass amp cabinet, you're gonna have to name this. So one 17-inch, 2 10-inch speakers is going to be 1x17 plus 2x10. So that's how it is. And this cabinet has a different speaker size. You can see that these two have a lot bigger than these two. which you can see, you can't count 4 by whatever the size is, because these sizes of the speaker or the driver are different. So this one is a 2 by 10 plus 2 by 12 bass amp. So that is how you know the measures, the speaker configurations. So this is how you know the speaker configurations if they have a different speakers or different driver sizes. You have to count the number of speakers that are the same size in the other one that are in the other sizes. Like this one is a small size and this one is a bigger size. Like this one is 2 by 10 plus 2 by 12s. So this is all it that I'm going to talk about the guitar amp cabinet or bass amp cabinet speaker configurations or speaker dimensions, whatever you call it. So I hope it really helps. And I really appreciate that you guys really made this so far. I hope that you guys really enjoyed about this tutorial, what kind of bass amps or what kind of size of the bass or the guitar amps that you wanted to get, the dimensions, the speaker configurations. That is, tells you like it's the 1 by 12 or 2 by 12, 4 by 10s, and other kinds of stuff. So I have explained this video so much, so if you guys like it and if you guys think it's correct, you're more than welcome to slap a like, comment down below of any opinions. But if I make any mistakes, let me know in the comments, because I've been trying to research as much as I can. I'm trying to learn all about these productions and theory, so that way I can make all kinds of videos like this. Click that subscribe button if you have not been already, and I hope that everybody is having a wonderful day.